Hey, good morning. It's so early in the morning and I've just been so busy with work that it's my son's birthday party today and I've not had time to make his cake, so I've woken up really in the morning. The sun's not out yet. So that I can bake a cake in time for his party. So I thought I will share the recipe with you. So let's get baking. So he has asked for a Oreo cake and I want to try a new recipe. So yeah, should be fun. So I've just been into rummage the cupboards for some Oreo. And the only Oreos I have is this half-eaten packet. Maybe not even half, maybe less than half. Anyways, I am going to make the cakes, and once the shop is open, I'll go and get some more for the icing. But for the cake, this should be enough. So let's get baking. So first I'm going to get in 350 grams of unsalted softened butter, which I put out of the fridge last night. Next goes in 350 grams of caster sugar. And now I'm going to beat this for a couple of minutes. It is looking beautiful and pale, so I'm going to add the rest of the ingredients. So in goes 350 grams of self-raising flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder, a heaped teaspoon of vanilla, good quality vanilla extract, and 2 tablespoons of milk. And now I'm going to beat this for a couple of minutes. I was thinking the mixture is not looking very good. I forgot to add the eggs. Right, 6 eggs it is. God. Right, this will be a better cake. Okay, let's try and get this right this time. Much better. And on the side, I'm going to crush 5 Oreo biscuits for the cake mixture. Crush it with a wooden spoon and then add it to the cake batter once the cake batter is has been whisked for 2 minutes, and then just whisk it for a few seconds until it's all combined. Right, now this cake is looking amazing. So I've got 4 8-inch round cake tins and I've greased them. Just gonna line them and divide the batter into 4 portions. Now this is going to go in the hot oven at 180°C for 25 minutes. And those 20 minutes will be plenty for me to tidy up, wake up, and also get myself a cup of tea. So I've got 4 egg whites and the cakes are cooled down, so now I'm making the icing. So 4 egg whites, I'm going to add 300 grams of just caster sugar. So I'm going to then cook this.
So my cakes are cooling down, and I've got the egg and sugar, which I'm going to put on a pan of boiling water. Make sure it doesn't touch the pan. So I've got the boiling water, I've got this, and I'm going to whisk this until basically we're trying to dissolve the sugar without cooking the egg whites. So continue whisking this, and from the heat of the bottom coming, this sugar will dissolve very, very quickly. So it's been a minute, and I can see already that the sugar is dissolving. So I just want to make sure that, just make sure you're stirring this, because otherwise it will cook the eggs and that's just going to destroy the, so I'm just using a bit of mixture. I can still feel a little bit of like grittiness from the sugar. So I'm just going to do it for a few more seconds. It's quite important, quite key that you dissolve the sugar. Now I can feel no more grit or sugar. So I am going to take this on the stand whisk and whisk it for 8 to 10 minutes until it's stiff and it has soft peaks and it's cooled down. Just whisk this for 8 to 10 minutes until the mixture has cooled down and you have a nice glossy stiff meringue. So you can see the change in it. It's cooled down now, and I'm going to start adding the butter. So I have got here 450 grams of softened butter, not melted, just softened, and I'm going to add one piece of butter at a time, just small blobs into this, and continue to whisk. So this is how lovely and stiff and beautiful the meringue is looking. Really nice. Look at those peaks. And now it's time for the butter.
Well, like that?
Yeah. That's it. So let it mix 1 second. Now add the next one. No, smaller pieces, smaller pieces. Smaller pieces. Ah, that's it. Yep. And you have to do the same till the butter finishes. Now this texture of buttercream is just most gorgeous, light, not very sweet, and this is when I will stop the buttercream. So the cakes are done, they are cooling, my buttercream has just finished. Now I cannot do anything. You can see a change of clothing because I really need to go out and get some Oreos to finish the cake. So I'm off, I'll be back in a second, and then I'll finish and assemble the cake. So I have managed to go to the shops and bring a packet of Oreos. So I'm just going to take 4 or 5. Got the cakes all cooled down, the icing ready. So I'm going to take 5. 5 is plenty. I'm just going to crush these and then add it to the icing. Into this. I'm also going to add a tiniest bit of vanilla into the icing just because I like it. Teeny tiny bit. And then just fold it in. You can make this Swiss meringue buttercream, or you can make Italian meringue buttercream. I've always made Italian meringue buttercream, so I decided to do Swiss meringue this time. It's so light and airy and definitely not too sweet, which is perfect. So just going to put a little bit of icing. You can see the Oreo flakes I think that was just the perfect number of Oreos, because I think any more would be too many. And I've just, before I assemble, very quickly, I forgot to make like just a little amount of ganache, because I want to put a thin layer of ganache between the cakes, because that's what I want. So I have got here 200 grams of dark chocolate, and I'm just going to pour 200 grams ml of double cream, which I've just brought to a boil. Just pour it on top of the chocolate and the heat will melt it. I'll leave it for 20 seconds and then stir in. Hi beta. Right, so I made a mistake again and I've put the icing, whereas I was going to put the ganache first. So now the ganache is done. I'm going to put some, I've removed the icing. I'm just putting a nice layer of ganache. Because I am going to make a layer cake, this is going to come out really beautiful when we cut into this. So that's the ganache done. Now I can put my Swiss meringue buttercream, which is, because I'm going to put it on that, it's going to swirl up and mix up. So if you don't want it to mix up and you want separate layers, this needs to be set. So if I wasn't in a hurry and if you wanted like separate layers, put this in the fridge, set it and then layer it. But I'm just gonna put that on and then just spread it on top. After every layer of buttercream, I'm going to crush 2 to 3 Oreos. And then first goes the cake, then goes the chocolate ganache, then goes the buttercream and the crushed up Oreos on top. So the cake is done. Now I'm going to transfer this, but obviously going in the car, I just want to make sure it's secure and also it's tilting slightly. So first thing, I'm going to straighten this up, much better. Then I'm just using some wooden skewers and I'm going to place them so that it doesn't move on my journey. And once I get there, before he cuts the cake, I'm going to remove these out. So that's it. It looks fantastic. And I'm just gonna place this in a box and take it to the party. This is like the most last minute cake I've ever made. I have had no time to even put it in the fridge to set. So the cake was made a few hours ago. Icing, ganache was still warm when I put it on the cake. So everything is, this is going to taste incredible though, because it is so fresh. I've not set it in the fridge, nothing. So I've added it on the skewers to secure it. And please don't fall at home. That would be quite ridiculous. Right, that's it. It is ready to go. And I have got one Oreo with my name on it. You can't read it, but I know it's there. And what's left in this box is the last squashed up slices, which I'm taking home with me to enjoy for my breakfast tomorrow.